Good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live, Web3 Network, another week in Web3. I'm excited to be here with y'all. What is it? It's Tuesday, October 10th. I can never get that shit straight anymore. I'm with Biggie Poppins, no gift dead. My man is running from San Fran to LA. He is just on his way. He will be back tomorrow, but it's good to be with all of you guys. It's a good start. It's a nice, energetic start to the day. Biggie, I'm excited to be here with you. Also, folks in chat, I got SP, Easy and Crypto, Zodicus, Choina, Marty, Prodigy, all of y'all. I see you there. Cryptophasia.
Nice.
Good to see everybody. Biggie, how you doing, brother? Nice hat.
OBOT. I'm doing fantastic, man. All things considered, of course. But yeah, I'm looking forward to get down. There was a great spaces today, and I really want to see what people came up with for gift. I don't think he's running though, Q. I think he took the long route. I think he's going down Pacific Coast Highway, stopping for some oysters, get a little bit of vino in Santa Barbara. He's gonna take him the whole day.
See, I wouldn't know, man. I'm over here on the East Coast, so all these places that you're talking about right now, I need to be taken to be shown.
It can be a nice drive if you wanted to. It just takes longer. That's what I would do. I can totally see him top down, hair all over the fucking place.
All right, we are going to start today's episode of NFT Live here in just a moment. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. We know you guys have a lot of things to be doing on this Tuesday, and you choose to spend it with us. DP, we're late. We're late because Gift is not here. We had to host our own space, okay? We had a lot going on this morning. The fact that we're even pulling this one off today I feel like should be commended. A couple stories that we need to get into, and that will be a major focus on the episode. Gutter Cat Gang. The gang is being resurrected, maybe. Gutter Dan heading off into the sunset. The GCG getting acquired. Friend Tech and Stars Arena. We got a Moonbirds proposal that is up for being voted on. Windsor Yawanawa revealed to major positive sentiment, but we did see that post reveal dip. I don't care. Listen, I wish I had a Windsor Yawanawa at any price below 10 ETH because that thing is going to be extremely, I think, extremely valuable long term, man. Really, really like that. That's some of what we'll get into. If you guys want to talk about anything else in NFTs and Web3, just drop it in chat and we will take care of you. Biggie, I'm getting everything shared out. Anything you've been doing in the last 24 hours, man? I know Windsor Yawanawa you were big on as well. But what else is going on in your life, brother?
Dude, it was a weird weekend, I guess you could say. It was really nice. I left early on Saturday morning and went up to the mountains nearby here with a bunch of friends and their kids and our kid, and it was just such a wholesome, beautiful experience. It's just what I needed, right? And then I got back, and of course, I found out about the news, right? And a whole new theater of war in the world. It's so fucking unfortunate. I won't get into it. I'm sure everybody's fucking tired of it, right? We're just getting started. I will say, though, it definitely has made me a little bit bearish. Just obviously, right? In the economy, I think
Macro
I really feel like this will definitely impact a lot of things going down the line, prolong whatever bottom we're in, if we're in the bottom. But trying to make the best of it, keep my head up, and obviously heart goes out to so many wonderful people that I know that are right now living through that nightmare, dude. Sucks.
Yeah, it's almost tough to make the transition from seeing the videos and what's being talked about to what we're trying to do today. But I love Jessica Otrosky, who is helping co-host the GM Web3 Morning Show. She was saying that sometimes you almost need the distractions. There's almost so much shit that happens in the world today that it feels good to think about anything not negative, right? So at least
yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't wallow in it, of course, right? At the same time, just don't look away. That's also a good thing to live by, right? But yeah, we're gonna make the best of it here. I think thankfully, we're lucky to be in a space right now that has got some really cool stuff going on. So I can't wait to cover it, man.
Yeah, we're going to cover all of that good stuff. Here's the episode today, and I've got a very special request of all of you. Again, GiftEd is not here for the first time in a long time. I know I've taken some time off, but I don't think GiftEd has taken a single week off in a long time. But this is the episode, Gutter Cat Gang. This is the post. I'm going to drop it in chat for y'all, but I have a very special request because, you know, without GIF, we're having a tougher time sharing out the links and all that stuff. When we're a try box, we have a much easier time. Go into this post right here and post a GIF of GiftEd headed back to LA. Because he's headed from San Francisco to LA. So this is a great one. We got the cat driving back. That's GIF. And then we've got Drive over here looking for that pre-workout. So we got more even coming from Jawa. So yes.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I bet.
Hop into that post and leave your favorite GIF. And then we're going to pick one winner to win some ApeCoin off that as well. So some actual incentives there. Big shout out to my friend Tech key holders, by the way. I'm gonna make Biggie punch air here, but Merchant of DeFi, Max Flow, Coffee Attack, Elliot.
Fuck yeah! No, hey, hold on. Are these like fucking friend peeps? That's like the most bullish you've ever fucking made me. Hell yeah, friend peeps! Welcome to X platform. This is the YouTubes. It's Web 2. I'm glad you made it over here. Welcome. Like this is the most bullish thing you've told me so far. I don't know how you did not talk about this in the spaces. Fantastic.
Someday we're going to get Biggie Poppins on Friend Tech, and Friend Tech's going to be a portion of today's episode as well that we'll jump into. All right. Again, I'm multitasking here. We had a couple breaking pieces of news, Biggie. Maybe this NFT Now piece we should hit on right up front. Did you see this coming? NFT Now changing into Now Media.
Come on, man. Like, you know, I'm a fan for like short, you know, easy to remember names, right? I mean, is this like the new meta now? Like, is everybody gonna start going with like single, you know, I don't know. I liked NFT Now. I like the alliteration. It was very niche. What are they going to cover now in Now? We'll see. Who knows?
I honestly think we should change our name from NFT Live. I love GiftEd's idea. We're just live now, folks. Just live. Literally,
live.
That's it.
All the time, 24/7, 365. Live, bro.
Live of the chair, live of other things. All right. We had a lot. We weren't on yesterday, and we had a lot to cover over the last, I think, 48 hours. Biggie, do we want to maybe touch on some wins of Yawanawa? I know the reveal happened. I can pull up some links. I know
man. Let's do it. You know, I think I think Astam's thread that he did, Astam Cloud, his is pretty cool because it shows some of the more rarer ones that have been revealed. Although today I think we got we got 200 of them revealed. I mean, they are just fantastic. I am so pumped about this piece. I think it's very rare that you have something like this and it just, you know, goes above and beyond people's expectations. I think that's the case with Winds of Yawanawa. Like, even before the reveal, people were talking about how amazing, spectacular, different this piece was going to be. And I think Rafiq, he delivered on all fronts and then some. And I think you're just going to see more and more of these pieces displayed in wonderful digital form, like all over the place. I'm very, very curious to see, you know, like where we'll see them popping up, right?
And this is on the backs of the announcement that Rafiq is going to be a resident at the Las Vegas Sphere. I mean, I don't know how it gets any more bullish than seeing artwork consistently from Rafiq on this platform, on this medium.
I'll tell you how. There's 9 more spheres like being planned in different places around the world. I don't know if you knew that. And I don't know. I feel like his particular work is just really well suited for it, right? Oh, and by the way, the audio is unique to each piece too, which I think is really cool. So there's so many like components, right? When you're talking about rarity for these pieces, right? It's like the movement, the color palette, the flow, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that Astam goes into that he's been picking up of, like that one, right? Like, which seems to have like been picking up a storm, you know. So it's not this one. There's another one that kind of has these like little flashes, like it's like it might have been a storm or something. But that's what's so cool about this project, right? Is that it's a master at data and AI, like really leveraging the potential, right, to deliver something unique. I mean, to do that with 1,000 pieces, where no one is the same, even though like they're supposed to be connected with different elements, right, like water, sun, moon, whatever. But like it's a tall order, and each one's a minute long, and if you look at them, you know, through completely, like it's just captivating, you know. And so I think he's definitely ushered in, and people were talking about it before Winds of Yawanawa, that dynamic NFTs were being undervalued, right, or slept on. And I think Rafik has finally opened the eyes to the rest of the NFT community that this is something they should be paying attention to, because like the possibilities are endless.
Rafik is about to get to the chicken in a major way. I'm
chicken.
Trying to work that one out. DP, break down what your thoughts are. So
you're gonna lay the golden egg.
The actual details here are that 100 are being revealed every day. So do we have a 10-day reveal process?
No, it's actually, so I thought so the same. So I was like, okay, mines are gonna be like day 4, but it's actually like, I think it was like 100 the first day, and then the rest is 200. So I'm pumped, because that means tomorrow I get revealed, and oh man, can't come soon enough. But I'm just really I'm enjoying the reveal process. I really think this should be, and I think it's going to be adopted by a lot of projects going down the line, like just you know, doing the prolonged reveal is just helps get, you know, more eyeballs towards to projects, especially like this, right? And you get to enjoy it more and actually familiarize yourself with the different qualities, you know, because sometimes people are like, yeah, man, I really like it, but I feel like I'm late. I don't know what to look out for, or what I would like, or the ones that I like are taken. And with this process, you're really able to kind of just start exploring it yourself and seeing other people's takes and likes. It's going to be cool.
Aesthetically, it's one of the coolest pieces that I've seen. I would love to display this and just to be able to like look at it in my office and just turn to it. And aesthetically, it's awesome. I know I'm feeding into the narrative that nobody has any type of patience in this space, but we're not even revealed with Winds of Yawanawa. What do you think is next? Or are you hearing anything of what's next from Rafik on people that are interested in like getting into the ecosystem? Not at 6.
I haven't heard anything about what's next with Rafik. I think he's just letting, I mean, it's smart. I think after they've rolled this out so well. I don't know how much of it was planned and how much of it, like the sphere stuff and the MoMA stuff, was just a matter of timing. It was just so perfectly aligned, right? Because you had the MoMA thing first, and everybody was just gawking at it, which is, it's a beautiful piece. And you know, you really got to get familiar with like his pieces. If you've seen others around, you know, the world, like you can finally be like, oh, that's Rafik. And then in comes the sphere, which was just like a mind orgasm for anybody that's been there. I was lucky enough to not go there because it hadn't been inaugurated yet, but I drove past it a couple of times while I was in Vegas, and it's to me, like, just the visibility of it during daytime is something that I question. Like I was like, what's the quality going to be like? Is it going to be glare, you know, or whatever? And not at all. It's so crystal clear, and it's just, I don't know. It really jumps out at you to think that there's going to be 9 of these on different parts of the world. And I really think they are going to redefine like the standard concert, right? Like going to live performances is not like at a sphere concert is going to be a thing. Like it's going to be different.
Can you even go to another concert after going to a sphere concert? Can you go to another YouTube concert after this, after seeing you two with the sphere? I just don't know.
Well, there's places, right? Like there's certain places like auditoriums in the world, like Red Rocks in
Yeah.
Colorado, right? That are just iconic, and you know, that's a natural auditorium that's been, you know, the greatest have played there, and it's just a place to go watch stuff, right? But yes, I think like if you're talking about dinner and a show, you know, like if you're talking about just like taking it up a notch, yeah, this is gonna be out of this world. I can only imagine.
We do. I'm so jealous of both you and Martaniel in the chat. Marty McFly has one as well, one or two. I don't know how many you guys own, but yeah, super jealous of you guys. We do have to move on to the next topic.
Just one thing that I will say, you know, like we're seeing a post-reveal dump, and I never put it beneath, you know, this space to show us how low things can go, right? And it's part of the game. Some people are in it for the flip, and then maybe you should have done it when it was at 9, at 11. Maybe it goes down a little more. What I will say is, like, if this is a piece that speaks to you and that you've really liked, I would definitely be keeping my eyes on, not financial advice to DYR, but you never know, right? Like, just, you never know. Stay sharp out there.
Listen, if I find that liquidity in my couch, I'm down to spend 6 ETH, or maybe I'll just move off of Friend Tech. That might clear it.
I was gonna say, you could sell some keys, Q.
I can't sell keys. I can't sell keys, or the house of cards will collapse. No, I'm just kidding. All right, did we lose your audio there, Biggie? I caught you.
No. Okay. I just put it on. I put it on mute every now and then because my assistant secretary, 2-year-old girl, all of a sudden is deciding to smash some stuff. So I'm just like trying to be respectful to our audience. But I'm here, bro.
That sometimes. All right, I do have to get to the comments, Biggie, as well. If you see any comments that come through that are interesting, you let me know. Gifted Sus IRL, by the way, he sent me feet pics. Declare Florian saying the sus is so Gifted getting trolled while he's not even here. That's crazy. Y'all are crazy for that. All right, now media is so weak, so fits the crew. Prodigy saying just change the name NFT Live to L and then hold that shit. Appreciate all of the positive vibes we're getting, of course. Choina, we're going to cover this here in a second. We are trailer maxis. We're video maxis. We like to be entertained that way. And Choina saying they just released episode 1 of Punks as told by Cryptopunks, featuring the creators of Punks, Matt Hall and John Watkinson. We'll get into it in just a second. Okay, DP said chicken is money. So the slang for the day is had. Zodicus, the art is so beautiful. And Choina saying, yeah, I bought one way back. Miguel's a really cool guy. I hung out with him for a couple of times in Charleston. What are we talking about with Miguel here? I bought one way back.
Miguel. God knows, man. Maybe he bought a Windsor Yawanawa.
All right. Farming edits. Have either Nifty or Biggie seen anything Dorkz? I've seen Dorkz on the top of Blur a couple times when it comes to the volatility around the floor price, but I have not been getting into Dorkz. Biggie, have you gotten onto Dorkz at all?
No, I have not. I mean,
let us know though.
Yeah. I have not. Sorry. Like, I'm really trying to just hold on to my ETH, like, for dear life, because as I said in previous shows, I think, you know, end of November, December, beginning of January, just, I don't know, like, there's always some, like I feel like a lot of people like to release stuff around that time. You know, just remember last year, Jack Butcher's Checks was around that time. When Proof released it was around that time. And so I'm just trying to be as diligent as I can. But I mean, I've still minted some stuff, just no Dorkz. I'm sorry.
Look, and you said I'm sorry, and that's going to lean into what I was just about to say. Like, oftentimes we're up here and we feel bad that we can't cover everything, but it's impossible. That's why we have all of you individuals here as well in this community to kind of, you know, fill in those gaps, and everybody's got their own expertise. All right, so farming, if you have any information on Dorkz or anywhere we should be checking it out, let us know. All right, I'm going to move into a little bit of this. I don't want to get copyrighted or anything like that, but we're going to see. Cryptopunks.
Oh, yeah.
1, as told by Punks. Let's see what we can get out of this. I'm going to stop it every like 15 seconds, guys.
1 story seconds of What is your one story sentence of CryptoPunks?
Two nerds. There's got to be two nerds. That's how it starts.
Two nerds make new website, try to get people to go to website and accidentally become artists.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hi, Matt Hall, Larva Labs.
And John Watkinson, Larva Labs.
Well, we met at University of Toronto in computer science.
All right, so I dropped that there in chat. It looks like just the kind of like love story to CryptoPunks there a little bit. We get a little mini doc on the CryptoPunks here from NFT Now. Interesting that they chose this day to also reveal that they're now instead of NFT Now. But yeah, Biggie, you gonna watch that?
Heck yeah, of course I'm gonna watch it. I love these types of stories, right? Like just how things started and unfolded, you know. And Matt and John are just like two of the creative powerhouses in this space, and the community, the punks community, right? Like, so yeah, this is just the type of content this space needs at the moment. I think it'll really help also like other communities understand that this is not like a fly by night, you know, happened in the flash of a pan, all of a sudden thing, you know. Like it took a while, you know. Punks are like an old story by now, 2018, you know. This is going on 5 years. It's crazy to think about it, but it is. And so I think it's going to be beneficial for a lot of people, you know.
It's interesting that both punks, I mean, it makes sense that this happened, but it's interesting that both punks and apes both took a while to mint out. Like, I don't even know what the timeline was on the punks. I'm sure it was like months. Like, school me right now, because I've never owned a CryptoPunk, but I know the Bored Ape.
There's so many great stories about the mints. Like, yeah, it took a while. And even then on secondary, like people were just trading them, you know. Like it's very much like Squiggles, right? Like for nothing, like for a while. Like you didn't shoot up like that out of the blue. I mean, I'd encourage you. I mean, one of the greatest stories of like the minting process and what it took. I think like one of the persons that got the best stories out there is the godfather of CryptoPunks, Tony Herrera. I'm sure there's plenty of videos or threads written about how he fucking minted, what was it, like 105 punks or something. And like, you know, like Tony is not like a no spring chicken. He's not old either, but like he's no spring chicken, like just somebody that technically was not supposed to be in the space, but was and liked collecting. And he goes down the rabbit hole how he just like was able to mint one and then just couldn't stop, and he kept picking up others. And you know, like there's obviously the story from Snowfro, who was able to look at the smart contract and find a bunch of the aliens. And then and then he gifted a bunch of them to friends and colleagues. Like Punks has such a cool origin story, and again, very much like Squiggles, very much like so many of them, in my opinion. It wasn't a straight up shot to the top, you know. Like there were people there that appreciated it from the get go. Others, you know, came in later, but slowly but surely they curated and that community started forming, right? And that's why people, when people say, "Oh, NFT, you know, PFPs are dead," I find that so short-sighted, right? Like, and I see it because I see it in one of my favorite communities, Proof, right? Like where this time in Marfa, like I was looking around and I was like, man, like it's got to really, like I was looking around, I was like, there's like 30% of us here that were like day one mentors, and like this is the base. Like these are the people that have been around for a long time. Some of us hadn't met ever in real life. But you know, when you have these conversations and these experiences, you start seeing that there's a lot of promise there, you know, and it just propels you to keep going and spreading the word and onboarding people. And that's what Punks did. That's what Punks did, you know, like, you know, not deliberately, not to raise floor prices or sweep the fucking floor, all that dumb shit, you know, like just they just focused on their community and like upholding certain values, you know, and that's what the space needs. So I hope a lot of people watch this and you know, get inspiration from it.
It's also interesting that punks are having a moment with the Beeple side as well, because you are seeing that like old guard. We're getting the old, literally from the founders, and then we also recently had the CryptoPunks event where I'm assuming a lot of newer holders, and I think even non-punks got to go to that and just experience the NFT culture. So yeah, great points, guys. We have a ton to get to today, so we weren't on NFT Live tomorrow, as you guys know, or sorry, yesterday, as you guys know. But there was obviously news and stories that were happening while we were gone. So there's a couple quick pieces that I need to get to. This happened over the weekend, and I guess it leads us into the Yuga show. But we did have an Otherside test group in Berlin, Germany. We do have a video. We love the vids.
Oof, bring it.
Watch.
Bring it.
See you on the other side.
Oh man, it just gives me FOMO. Bad FOMO.
It does, and there's a lot of things to take away from this specific video, but I want to point out just one really quick, because I think Yuga and all the FUD that we heard last week, what they need to do is lean into this. There are not a lot of gaming studios that have this type of organic base of community members that fuck with them. There are, I mean, the opposite actually is true. You talk about Activision Blizzard, you talk about Riot Games, a lot of gamers have a negative feel towards studios, and I think if they lean into this, what you see on the screen, they're going to do extremely well, because they can run with that narrative that they're the studio for the gamer or for their community, and it's going to be something that they can have positive sentiment around long term.
Yes, I agree. And you can't fake that, right, Q? Like you can try, and we've seen projects try, like they'll bring in like some glorified community manager, growth hacker that's gonna turn this ship around, and sometimes they fail. Like what I noticed from some of these projects, when these communities, you can't like force them to happen. They happen organically sometimes, independent of whether the founders intended it to be the case, right? Like, they just start either collecting the assets and form a group around it, and sometimes the team will like become part after the fact, right? But yeah, I agree with you. This is not common, and it's something that they should 100% leverage, to the point that I think, like, some of these projects would do well instead of looking outwards at like credentialed people, that have helped grow this or that. It's like, look at your community, because there's always these outliers, right? And I'm sure you've experienced it in some of them that are just like so committed to it, right? And like relate well with everybody, like some community members just kind of like have their own little clique, and that's fine. Like there's nothing to be bad about, right? Like, but there's others that are just, that seem to be like always on, right? Like, and like have tentacles in every little sub DAO or parliament or whatever you want to have. And like those people, in my opinion, are gold. Like you should be enabling those people, bringing them in. I just saw Warren there. That's awesome. Yeah, dude, that's so dope. I mean, I agree with you. And I so need to go to Germany finally. Q, you're gonna go there, right? Next year, Oktoberfest, maybe.
So I went to Oktoberfest last year. I was scheduled to go in November, but we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, Germany's a fantastic country. The culture, the food, the people, just overall
so cool, man. Honestly, so much FOMO looking at that video. I'm glad they're producing this type of content, though. I think
Yeah.
you need more of it. Like, it's underrated, I think, as a potential even onboarding mechanism. Like, I think if more people could see this content and see the communities that are forming, and just what a great time people have, like in Marfa and these types of places, like it would be hard not to want to seek out your own little slice of Web3 heaven.
All right, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Kilowatt is saying I had a napkin from 8Fest, but I got the suitcase sold, so that sucks. Never want to see that. But Kilowatt was also saying that she loves this video here. Listen, we weren't live when Yuga Labs decided they were going to, make the announcement that they're doing layoffs. So we had that piece. If you read between the lines on that announcement, what it felt like to me was that they were not happy with Heavy Metal Forge or Legends of the Mara, and they're moving more towards having and they said this very blatantly, that they're going to, be putting more focus on the other side. And so what you saw in this video was not Legends of the Morrow, was not a Heavy Metal Forge. You saw a first look at Meetropolis, which is going to be this Meebits inspired island within the other side. And we just see more other side pieces here, and kind of leaning into that, I think, is going to be their focus, obviously.
So I have a question for you, Q. Is this the sector, the main center of the island? Like, or is there a particular place? Did they signal it out?
So I don't think we've seen this specifically. I don't know if they've given an island ID or anything like that, but this is definitely not the center of the other side. So you're going to have the yacht club essentially is going to be at the center of the other side. Meetropolis is going to be some other island, it looks like, that they spawn, and they just have it, Meebits inspired. So the Meebits are another piece of this. The news that we got on Friday that they were going to have layoffs, they're now focusing specifically on Meebits, CryptoPunks, and I believe they mentioned one more collection. And you can see they're giving Meebits love. The floor price on Meebits is also doing some positive things here to start the week. So
I think that's fantastic, man. Right? Yeah. And it looks like, of course, like we were talking about, people will always find things to complain about. But I think if anybody can scratch a project, hey, man, they tried stuff, right? They really tried stuff. They went out, they delivered a product. It wasn't well received. Oh, well, pivot, go towards a new goal. It's allowed. It's fine. It doesn't mean it rugged or it's going to zero or that it failed, I think that's great. Great. I don't know if I could be even more bullish on Yuga, but I am. Like, I love to see that.
I've said this from the beginning with the other side, because people kind of fade it and say, oh, how are they going to get like all of the gamers into the other side, and how's it going to be successful? This is the power of the other side. It's bringing other NFT IP, right? You see Meebits, but you could also substitute in Pudgy Penguins, and you can also substitute in DeGods and all this different stuff. Showing off different NFT IP in the metaverse is going to be their play. Sandbox tried to do this, but I think this specifically is voxelized because it's Meebits, but the other side is not going to be voxelized in a majority of it. So it's going to be DeGods, Pudgy Penguins, Bored Apes,
Moonbirds,
Moonbirds. Moonbirds will be in there.
Can you see my bird flying there with his fucking visors, just shooting rays down there? It's so awesome. I can totally see my Moonbird partying there.
Yeah. So again, it's tough because it comes on the back of the layoffs, obviously, but we do see, I think, some movement towards, hey, we're going to focus on the other side. That does put a lot of eggs in one basket, but I think Daniel Allegre, the head of Yuga right now, is looking at this and he's saying, look, the sentiment, if we release another one of these mini games and they flop, it's going to be bad. You know what I mean? So I think he's realizing, hey, the quality needs to be a little bit better. All right, we're going to move on into the next story here. We actually, I'll say one last thing. Sorry, again, I'm all over the place, having to do both shows here today, but it looks like there's an ApeCoin proposal. Thank you for Squashman bringing this to our attention. An ApeCoin proposal from Sandeep Nawal over at Polygon Labs. So he's the co-founder of Polygon. This is a proposal to start an ape chain layer 2. Be affordable at $200K per year for deployment and maintenance. Revenue earned through gas and validator fees paid in Ape. Benefits, experience, scalability, low fees, enhance e-security and interoperability. Time frame 14 to 16 weeks.
What do you think about that, Q? Feels
I'm
like reaching, you know?
Yeah, look, man. I definitely take the side of, and I don't know who posted about it, but it was basically saying we need more apps and less things, less protocols. Like everyone's trying to build the next protocol because it's insanely monetarily profitable to do so. If you're the co-founder of one of those things, like you could be a moderately successful layer 2 or other layer 1 and you're fucking a billionaire now. So I see why founders want to do it, but I think we need more applications that are actually usable. So my initial take is I do think of any NFT project, Bored Ape would be the one to actually have success on a layer 2. So
Yeah, and I don't know. I imagine like it's an EVM compatible sidechain, right? So like it shouldn't be that big of a deal to launch one of these. I think just Polygon's been lagging some in comparison to Optimism and Arbitrum, right? And like even Avalanche, it was like launching in his own sector, like subnets and other stuff. But I feel like they just need to fucking get their heads down and get the ZK deliverables, you know, up to par to what people are expecting. So it does feel like it's kind of starting to lag in comparison to some of these other protocol chains, L1s, L2s.
yeah, I agree with you, Biggie. I'm looking at the chat to see if we have some other takes. Looks like Easy saying, I don't know if that's needed, an ape chain there. Let's see. Squashman saying, think of all the 21, 22 projects that promised a game or metaverse and delivered jack shit. Just cast in a paycheck, yet we spend our attention antagonizing projects trying to execute. Listen, I looked at my Star Atlas bags for the first time in a long time last night, and that wasn't fun. That was not fun to do so. They are doing some development there on Star Atlas, but yeah, just not a fun night. Anyways, DP saying another case of founders not holding themselves accountable by avoiding deliverable, tangible products to market. Who's that? Is that? Are we talking about Polygon? Or are we talking about? I think we're talking about Polygon there, right?
I think they're definitely the ones that have delayed for quite some time now. So I think that's what DP meant. But yeah,
got it. Okay. Also, Sandeep, 200K is not anything to you. So why don't you just build it and then, you know, kind of produce it to the ApeCoin if that's going to save your chain, quote unquote. I don't think Polygon is in need of saving, but it definitely doesn't have that really thick sentiment where it's hot and heavy like on AVAX and Base right now.
Do you still hold some Polygon, Q?
No.
Short, small bag? Yeah.
Maybe a small bag.
Yeah. I've been, so, you know, the funny thing is like, you know how Prohibition came up with like their multi-mint asset minting payment protocol, right? Like you can pay with Polygon now.
Yeah.
You can mint on Prohibition. I think I'm starting to be like, dude, I instead of like putting Polygon just directly on the chopping block, I'm like, I might just spend this on Prohibition, dude. Fucking dude. Mint a bunch of fucking hearts. You know, I'm bullish on those.
Yeah.
You need to get your house in order, Polygon, because
this might be a way. I mean, if you kind of look at his announcement, I mean, he's trying to say, hey, look, this is how we can maybe get into the PFP sector. I know they tried with Utes. They paid Utes all that money, and then Utes paid them back. It was wild.
Keep your money. We're going to eat.
All right. We do have to make it to the Gutter Cat Gang news. We love to bury the lead here on NFT Live, soon to be live. We will get to that in just a moment. Big winners from the day actually are the Gutter Cat Gang collections. Gutter Dogs is up 110%. Dead Migos is up 76%. I don't know if you've seen that meme that they're trying to do there, Biggie, where they're trying to like, overtake the Nakas with a secondary collection.
I saw, yeah.
Okay, Crypto Citizens up 55%, Meebits up 13%. Big losers, Sproto Gremlins down 13, Ether Capsules down 13, Chex VV down 8%, and Winzy Yawanawa down 7% there on the day. All right. I am going to get to the Gutter Cat Gang news. I just have a couple others that you guys are going to have to sit through because they happened while we were not live last week, and they might have happened as well over the weekend. So let me briefly get to these pieces. Biggie, if you see any comments coming through, I see the comment section's blowing up. Also, if you're sitting on Twitch, X, YouTube, if you're here afterwards, you guys rock.
Jawa is coming defending Polygon. I appreciate that, Jawa. I'm you know, I think like the last product or project that I ended up minting was Pluto. I haven't done the best job keeping up with it. I know like people were super bullish on it, but I'd love to hear some of, you know, all these other brands building on it. You know, like it's been a while. Like I have negated it for a while, so it'd be cool to be schooled on it. Appreciate it.
Well, I know Starbucks NFTs are on
China.
On Polygon. I also know Reddit NFTs. We haven't kept up with the Reddit NFT ecosystem in a long time.
And our beloved Avagachi, right?
And Avagachi, of course.
It's the most bullish project out there. NFA.
Gang, baby.
DYOR. Ain't that right, China?
Yeah, while we're on the topic of Polygon real quick, I did want to share... DraftKings being on Polygon is tough to miss as well. So this is 24-hour volume here. Polygon coming in at 4th. Mythos chain, I guess, but I haven't heard a damn thing about what's happening on Mythos chain to be the second in NFT volume. But maybe that's just a blind spot for us.
Yeah.
So just trying to be... All right, I got Dorkz, man. I got Dorkz on the screen. I'll show the trailer. We're not in Dorkz, but it looks like we have like an official trailer from the Dorkz. It looks very Beavis and Butthead like here.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, folks. There's a Texan takeover happening right here in Woodlands. The entire state have gathered in the hopes of catching a glimpse of those flying saucers. We've even got a couple of adventurous souls who are secretly hoping to get abducted. Remember, folks, it's okay to shoot for the stars, but maybe not the mothership.
Don't miss the season premiere of The Dorkz, coming this holiday season.
Okay, cool.
On what?
With another entertainment IP play, huh? Yeah, I don't know, like how I feel about him. I took a couple of punts earlier, you know, was it last year or anything? Has anybody here, Q, have you watched any Cryptopunks?
I have not. I don't watch much TV though. Like I even wanted to get back into Family Guy a little bit. Rick and Morty is the only thing I watch on TV. What's up?
And it's by one of the creators of Rick and Morty. But you know, that's exactly the rub, in my opinion. It's almost like questionable right now to launch like some IP related to we're gonna make a movie or a show.
Yes.
Right? Like you know, as cool sounding as that may be, you know, I don't know. Like I don't want to say TV's time is past or movies' time is past. I love the medium too much to just say that, but it sure as hell feels like it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like just the attention span is not there. The competition is fierce. You know, I would even dare say, like, if you were gonna do something of this sort, like, I mean, I watched pretended to watch a couple of the Cryptopunks episodes, but it's hard, man. Like competing with my computer and my phone and keep track of the, you know, whatever the hell's going on. I don't know.
Futurama on Hulu is great. I'm happy that is actually good. I heard that they revamped Futurama, but I honestly wish that they would have kept Futurama as like that was a time in my life and just have those episodes. Like we maybe didn't need the reboot, and it maybe that's just PTSD from literally every other show that ever launches a second kind of reboot series. All right. Look, Dorkz is up 30%. It looks like they just had their public mint. So there is some interest here. Let's see what the volume is on these Dorkz. 7-day volume is sitting at around 11 ETH. So not a lot of volume, but I mean, shit. Apparently,
And
we're getting a
Dorkz.
streaming service. We find out what streaming service in a couple weeks.
Oh wow, okay.
Squashman did not just say that. Thought it was a trailer for the Little Peckers. God.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're getting trolled, bro. It could have been a cool show. Could have been.
Yeah. It's been nice not to have any SEC rulings on any NFT projects. Like, you think they
Somebody
just
should take one of those little peckers and do like a rich man from North Richmond music video. I think
just
they
have
would
the
do
little
well.
pecker?
Yeah.
God damn it. All right. I promise we will get to this gutter cat news. I'm going to fly through these next pieces. We're not even going to, I think, touch on them really. It looks like there's a second fork happening with the Nouns. So 53 Nouns have now proposed that they are leaving the ecosystem as well. Apparently, there's also a Little Nouns proposal to leave the ecosystem as and I saw one of the comments here under Stats post saying the Nouns went from like this shining example of what a DAO could be to everyone leaving in what seems like a 2-month period. And I say everyone leaving, of course they have their core community, but it's wild to see the Nouns start to have to deal with a lot of this. So yeah, that's kind of the post there. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but Biggie, you got anything quick?
Man, I mean, it's sad to see, but at the same time, I guess like you can understand that. Again, this is a situation very much like, and I'm sorry to bring it to friend tech, but it's musical chairs, right? And when you start seeing people exit and liquidating their assets, the whole community rally cry just kind of fades into the background, and I guess only the diehard believers will remain. I like their intention, what they set out to do. It's unfortunate, but it happens in the space. What can we do? Everything I think is harmless. Oh, dude.
That's alpha. Some alpha here on today's show. All right, here we go. The comeback, chapter 1, reset, unify, clarify. I'm not the only one that's kind of fed up with Frank at this point and like the whole this is a new start type of thing. It feels like one of those people that posts on Instagram and is like, this is the new me. And then they're like in jail the next week. Like this
2.0, 3.0, 4. We're like at 10.0 by now, right?
I think it is. Just, I'm not going to cover this too much, but the reset includes a couple different things. It looks like you can change the DeGods artwork now again. You can choose between season 1, 2, or 3 on chain on our website. It also brings the Utes officially back to Ethereum. And there is a launch of another product. You can see here, alongside the launch of blank, every single concern with DeGods, Utes, points, art updates, will be answered.
You had to leave that last part, right? Like, if you're Frank, you have to leave it up to speculation, the ambiguity, what could it be? Is this the finally that thing that's going to catapult us? I don't know. Let's see.
Frank is like a relic. I don't know if it's maybe a bear market thing where people like need to see some type of substance to feel like, hey, this project has something. But Frank is like everything to 2021 hype balled into one founder. Like everything he does with DeGods would have like hit heavy in 21. You know what I mean? I feel like his playbook is to be like super mysterious, to release things that aren't really anything, but they're something. Like all of that was pre-2023. Maybe it comes back in the bull market. Maybe it does. Maybe just the unfiltered euphoria that changing a line on your artwork is sending your project 3x. But that's what it feels like DeGods is to me at this point.
Was there ever a time that it like enticed you, whether it was the artwork or the community or like the mystique about it? It's
the cool thing to me. The cool thing for them was that they launched and have tried to now be both on Solana and Polygon. That was cool to me. Like not just being like, here's the next ETH project, to like go out on your own and fucking try and actually succeed at being the number one PFP on both those chains.
Yeah, Definitely trailblazer, and I agree with you, Jawa. For me, it's become tiresome, right? To follow the DeGods, and honestly, at this point, I mean, obviously, I'm not putting them on par with Yuga, but they've had such a strong presence on the timeline, right, of Web3 and PFP projects, that to see them fail almost is gonna be, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like it could almost like set off, yeah, the new news. Like, it, like, I don't know, like, to see DeGods fail, I feel would almost be like a domino effect with so many other PFP projects, because it's had so much clout and so much following, right? And it's unfortunate because I feel like the missing pieces that were required to do something were, I don't want to say insignificant or like small, but like, it was just like, dude, like, pick fucking one North Star, declare it, get everybody to rally behind it, and start heading towards it. And it's been just, I feel like, second guessing, it almost feels like sometimes, I don't know, in UFC, sometimes we have like these people that come in, right, and they're like super, like, I'm thinking Kron Gracie right now, right? Like, it's like super promising, like, dude, Rickson Gracie's son, like, he's obviously gonna obliterate everything, but he's still like boxing, and like, he wants to do stand-up as well, and then just gets obliterated like twice in a row, and ends up leaving. And it's like, why didn't you play to your strengths? Why didn't you just fucking do what you do, declare one thing? You're Mr. Jiu-Jitsu. It's like, you should have fucking gone there and submitted everybody, instead of like doing, very much like Habib did. And anyways, I'm trying to do these parallels here, but I think like with Frank and with DeGods, it's such a missed opportunity. It kills me to see it, because I do think they had, and they have still, so many things going to it. Like, I mean, honestly, still the community that is bullish on him and the project, fucking dude, so many other projects would wish they would have anything close to that level of loyalty and like belief, right? But yeah, he just keeps second guessing himself, and I will agree with you that it's tiresome, and if this one doesn't hit, yeah,
can it be day
like
one
in the coffin
again? I will not stick around for day one again. This is the last shot here that I'm giving Frank. It's day one again. We'll see what happens with this one. I love the comments that are coming through as well. Hilarious. Let's see.
I love our community.
Kilowak is saying the Nouns comment was on point, from shining example into a complete fork. Easy and Crypto saying the new DeGods. DP Frank is the remix king. Jawa Frank has been tiresome since launch. Some people just catching on. Prodigy going as far to call it a scam. Chona is saying use promised deliverables for the Polygon grant, but failed to build anything, so they bailed and returned the funds. And DP, no, it's not coming back. The space is slowly learning that edgy founders pretending to redefine traditional business practices are nothing more than scammers parading as innovators. Woo! God damn.
Yeah.
Y'all came through. Tell me how you really feel, folks. All right. Gutter Cat Gang is happening momentarily. This is the last quick.
We're
news.
done.
Somebody we think became a millionaire, but also maybe not. So CrypToadz number 4030 was bought for not 1.055 ETH, 1,055 ETH, about $1.6 million accepted on this bid for a CrypToadz, which had a floor price of, I believe, 0.5 at the time. Everyone's saying, holy shit, there's a new millionaire. And then there's also there's also the fact that this might have been a wash trading event. It looks like the funds did come from, I thought I saw Tornado Cash. I need to confirm this, but yeah, there's speculation that this is wash trading.
Yeah, I obviously the other story, the Cinderella story is a lot nice. How many of us would not like to wake up and just have like an offer that's just completely overvaluing your asset, just sitting there waiting for you to click accept, right? We'll find out though. Eventually, these things come to light. But it's cool to think about.
All right, the moment you've been waiting for is right around the corner. I'm keep teasing it, but AKA Socks is saying managed to get Nifty Q and Biggie Poppins to watch the Dorkz teaser trailer on stream.
Yes, you did.
You did. You got us.
Got us.
I appreciate that shout out, aka Socks. And we will get to the biggest news of the day. Let me find it. You'd think I'd have it ready to go, but I don't. Gutter Cat Gang is getting acquired by Noah, aka Meowloa Dream. Gutter City has faced its share of challenges over the last year. We've seen adversity, witnessed hardships, and felt the weight of uncertainty. But I want you to know that today is the dawn of a new era. So Noah goes on to exclaim that the Gutter Cat Gang IP, whatever's left, hopefully, of the treasury, has been now acquired by himself. Gutter Dan will fade off, I think, and walk off into the sunset. Noah also promised that $500,000 would be added into the ecosystem, whatever that means, to help get Gutter Cat back to where they rightfully belong, which is right at the tippy top. All right, folks. Again, that's the story. Gutter Cat Gang being acquired. This was rumored about 2 weeks ago. And interestingly enough, the team turned down a previous acquisition in 2022 for about $2 million, I believe. And this acquisition costs $0. So the team took no money, apparently. There still has not been an announcement from the Gutter Cat Gang. So this was first reported by the Gutter Cat Times, which we can pull up here. And, of course, Noah, who is the acquirer. I don't know. There's a lot to talk on here. What the fuck do we start with?
Well, I feel like the first one is the obvious comparison. I at least for somebody that's never been a part of this at all. I don't have much knowledge on the Gutter Cats, but it's kind of like I'm very curious to see if it's going to end up being something like the Luca playbook, right? Are we familiar? Do we know who this Maulo Noah guy is by any chance, or what his background is about?
He's not a large account. Like if you look at it, so he's received a ton of followers here in the last day, but you can see 6,000 followers. He probably picked up half of that in the last 48 hours.
Okay. No, I don't know. I'm speculating, and I wonder. I mean, obviously, when Luca acquired Pudgy Penguins, he had a very clear vision of how he was gonna, break out of that funk and achieve some level of notoriety or positioning in the space, right? And so, I mean, it's the affiliate marketing, drop shipping, whatever you want to call it, growth hacking space is nothing new, and there are some very capable people out there that can generate what appears to be a lot of clout in a very short amount of time, right? And I know people have been going after Luca Kip for generating fake likes or this or that, but this is something that's been going on in the e-commerce and affiliate marketing space forever. You can buy email lists. There's all kinds of tactics that you can implement to do this, right? And I'm curious if now, after the LucaNet success story and then the little bit of a debacle that people have been trying to frame him as whatever, if you're not going to see an influx of these types of people into this space trying to acquire IP that's what they might consider underappreciated, that still maybe has a community, and say, hey, I can turn this ship around selling whatever soap.
I mean, look, nothing that the Gutter Cat Gang's current team was doing was working. It's that simple. I think objectively they were launching some cool products. When you look across the NFT space and you say, what else is everybody doing? To have one of the Ball brothers release a shoe with Gutter Cat Gang IP, to see what they were doing on the sports front. I mean, they were releasing some other things, they had a new website that was kind of tracking everything that the community was doing. It's like a community hub. They were doing things. It felt like they had bit the forbidden apple long ago, and they just went down with the ship slowly. It was just a slow process to continue to what was eventually going to be oblivion if they weren't brought up here. So
So you were part of that community, right, Q? And like, what would you like if you were given that? Yeah, kind of, but enough to be familiar with, like maybe,
yeah, I was
like
in the Discord. Yes.
what kind of positioning would you like to see, or would you do, right? Like if you were handed the keys to this project, like obviously, again, going back to Luca, he went with plushies, cute, you know, ecom slash, you know, brick and mortar type of distribution model. Like, what would you like to do? Because I feel like it is an underappreciated or underexploited like tactic, right? Like there are many different sectors IRL that, with somebody knowledgeable enough in that particular sector or space, could come in and like declare it like, okay, we are the NFT of blank, right? You see people try to tackle it, but where would you put gutter cats?
I think
would
you could
go
write
after?
a thesis on this topic, and I think not a lot of people have figured it out, which is why we don't see a ton of successful products outside of the ones that you mentioned. I think what they were doing with sports, every time we bring up Gutter Cat Gang and what they were trying to do, I think lean into that. Your community should be filled with sports and fantasy football and fantasy basketball and all of these different products that are sports related. I think that could have been a community where you could have had vibes where people were just connecting around sports. You already see DraftKings popping the fuck off. Like DraftKings has been one of the top applications for this technology for the last 6 months. You go on CryptoSlam, check it out. I'm not lying. There is a product market fit with sports collectibles, with athletes showing off NFTs. That's where they should have leaned. But I mean, it's a broad answer. Again, I think you could write a thesis on it, but I think they should.
But it's a little too late now, don't you think? Like, I mean, that
Depends on
where
what the
like
runway is.
Well, 500K apparently, right?
Well, that's not their
little more
their runway. That's not the team's runway. I don't know what the team's treasury looks like. So when you say it's too late, it's like, well, just downsize and figure it out.
Well, maybe not too late, but like there's definitely substantially more competition than there was initially, right? When they launched.
What's that?
You know, there's substantially more competition there than when they originally launched, right?
Yeah,
because see, like what I see, like a lot of these guys like try to tackle, right? Even within sports, like you say sports, and it's like, okay, well, what is it? Collectibles? Is it collab? Is it betting? You know, I think like a lot of people would love to tackle betting, but of course, it's such a touchy subject, especially in this country. I see a lot of people doing that, like with Asian communities, like Asian-based projects, where they don't have that hamstring and they're able to employ it, right? Like deploy stuff like that, but. It's really interesting. Like I see a lot of these, especially the ones that want to do like IRL tangible deliverables, right? Like they're like, well, we're gonna have our merch and we're gonna drop a mixtape and we're gonna do all kinds of fucking shit. It's like, no, just focus on one. Like just pick one. Fucking candy. Just be the fucking NFT kings of candy. Just do fucking candy. You know, I don't know.
Kings of candy. I love it, dude. I can get on board with that. Look, man, here's another thing. The first thing that this new founding group is going to have to figure out is the collection. They have to figure out how to consolidate. They have to figure out what the fuck to do, because it is an absolute mess. If you go on to Blur, you go on OpenSea, and you try to get a handle on what's going on with all of the different collections, good fucking luck, because you have like 30,000 different things that are happening. The OG collection is small. The OG collection is one of the smallest out there at 3,000. But you have gutter cats, and then now you have gutter dogs, you have gutter rats, you have gutter clones, you have vials.
The whole animal farm.
I mean, that's one of the first things that they're going to have to figure out, and I would take a fucking hatchet to that immediately. That would be just knowing the sentiment being so bad. That's one of the reasons why the sentiment's so bad, is because people faded all that stuff and have not looked back. The community also had this like splintering moment. I know Nick Swerve was saying, yo, I never had a bad time at GutterCon, and I met a lot of homies through GCG. Maybe you have more information, or at least a little bit tidbit on what actually splintered that community. Because I remember at one point they had a civil war. They were like, there was like a lot of nastiness that led to people leaving that community. And it was one of the main, I think, drivers to where they sit today. So, dude, Troyan is also saying I was there during the mint. We were live with Gutter Dan. NFT Live was live with Gutter Dan with Gutter Cat Gang while their mint was on. Like there's a lot of really cool ass stories from back in the day. It's tough to talk
Call that
about
with
Gutter
El
Cat Gang,
Chapo.
man.
Fucking Marty.
I'll say this to them. I don't want to fade them too heavily. Clearly, they were in over their heads. And look, if I launched a PFP project, that would probably be something that would happen to me. You know what I mean? Like there's people that maybe have launched a product in that same vein as an NFT before that maybe have a little bit more experience. So if you don't have people that you're surrounding yourself with that are good at this shit, Gutter Cat Gang happens. Because all they did was take what Bored Ape Yacht Club was doing and try to recreate that with Gutter Cat Gang. And that's where they got their shit all fucked up. Because they tried to go the mutant vial route. They tried to do the secondary collection. They did do for a while on the vibes front. They did launch GutterCon and all that stuff. That was 100% a success. But you could see they were just like, what are other projects doing? You know, what else are they doing? Let's try to do that. And it fucked them really bad. Tough one, man.
And sometimes there's no resolution for it.
So is this a resolution though, Biggie? Like, will you see more? Because I love that Whale is talking about it here on a thread. I love Whale.
I mean, again, like
Pudgy's
I feel
Oni?
like
Oni did it too.
It can happen 100%. I just like that, and that's why I was asking you. It's like what I'm very curious to see what approach they take or what niche they try to tackle. I think that's the key. Like, I mean, in my opinion, is like they're gonna have to define a particular niche that they want to go after, whether it's sports, like you said, or it's, I don't know, it can be so many things, fucking cannabis, I don't know, golf, whatever. But you know, when I do look at the IP, is a very particular taste, you know, like it's not very broad, I would say. Like, you know, it takes some work. Like I don't know, immediately my mind goes to a little more grimy, and that's not a bad thing, right? In my opinion, like, I don't know, if you go after the skating niche or whatever, like you'll have your work cut out for you. But if you can win that space over and actually deliver good products, if Noah is were to be an expert in that space or want to tackle it, like maybe he could do well. I just think like that the IP is not as user friendly as the Pudgy Penguins or others, right? And so that will be an element they'll have to contend with or leverage, right? Like maybe this guy has a really clear, you know, thing that he's going to go after, and it'll work with that IP. Let's see.
What?
I'm all for underdog stories, so
all right.
Heck yeah.
I'm not look. We're an hour into the episode. You guys have been awesome all the way through. By the way, thank you for the comments, OVOT, to the community that continues to show up here. I mean, with no promise again of like some type of a monetary reward other than the gifted giveaway that we're doing right now. They're over on the NFT Live post. I'll get to that in just a moment. Biggie, I do have this, and we're not gonna dive fully into a rate my bags drop here today. Let me make sure I've got this. What project on this list would you want to be acquired right now? You think has all the right pieces to just come in and needs it?
Oh, and needs it. Shit. Dude, let me see. Shit. I mean, I feel okay. Honestly, I think it would probably be. Could I actually say it? Like Avastars. Avastars.
Wow.
Avastars.
You're going with that old. You're going with like the old provenance. Let's revive this.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I would go for. And more because like I feel like the founders haven't done a lot with it. They've just kind of let it sit. And I do know that there's a lot of people out there, OGs, that hold them and appreciate them. And they were firsts in so many things that first of all, if the founders were willing to part ways with it, and if somebody else had like a like a cool roadmap or project for them, I think you could do something cool with them. I think, you know, you could definitely breathe some more life into them. I by no means think they're dead. Like, I think next bull run we'll get to see them maybe pump a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to go to the moon, but yeah.
I think Biggie might, or sorry, Easy might be loving you for that, because Easy was a big, Easy was a big one. I love this from King Alex here saying Cool Cats Easy. That's a great one. I think they're having some struggles of their own. Maybe
Which one?
Cool Cats.
Yeah.
I'll name a couple others. Nakamigos in like 6 months. I would love to, like the whole FUD over the cloaks needs to die down and all that stuff. But I think Nakamigos in like 6 months will be a good acquisition. Yetis would be a fantastic. I don't know what you could do with that IP though. Like, it's so bad. It's so ugly. Could you actually do anything sustainable outside of making it more of a meme? But I'll go with Nakamigos. I love the Cool Cats answer. Nakamigos, Yetis, and I think that's it for me. I mean, no, I don't care enough about Subducks. Yeah.
Fucking, well, maybe but what is it? The goblins. Like, I'm still curious to see. Like, they had a thing for a while, and you know what? Like, they're like what's that Halloween store that does fucking fantastic numbers just in fucking October right now? I forget the name of it. It's like really famous here, you know. Anyways, I think goblins could have, like, again, like, it has that it has a pretty passionate community, and you could do something around Halloween. Plus, it would be probably like low effort, because the rest of the year you can just chill, just focus all your efforts on October, and then you're done, you know.
Just literally take the 10 months out of the year off, and then the run up to October.
Well, they're not off, right? Like, you're building all in expectation of having most of your volume or whatever on that month, man. But I'm obviously coming in from the angle of like if I were a Lucum Nets type of person that wants to do something with the IP in the real world.
Okay.
But Avastars is still my favorite.
Yeah, Avastar is getting a lot of love. Easy and Crypto is saying, I would love to see someone super active take over Avastars, or at least bring someone on to do some cool stuff. I agree with that. Cryptophage is saying, I don't hold any of the NFTs on this chart. Probably a good thing, to be honest. Let's see. Squash is saying, Yetis do the Pudgy playbook and capitalize on cute toys and items in the holiday season. Collab with Yeti. Do a kids show. Kid-friendly game. Shit, I think a lot of OGs still hold them Yetis too. I thought you were going to say, shit, I should take over the project.
I think that would be key though, right? Q, like, to do some like deep wallet analysis, like, and check out who the holders are, how long have they been holding, how active have they been, you know, still, what do they still talk about the project fondly? I think that would definitely be part of my due diligence when looking for one of these to acquire.
Yeah. I think that would be 100% necessary to see if you have any viability long term. I think we faded Azuki pretty hard at C here, but yeah, let's not get into a full list. We can come back to this maybe end of the week, Biggie.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. I'd love to see what GIF has to say about it too.
All right.
Who do you? In fact, let's speculate. Who do you think GIF would go after? He can't defend himself right now. Probably the Chungos. He would buy the Chungos, go full Chungo.
I guess he would. I think he would. I would think he would answer that. Let's see. GIF would probably say Chungos.
Chungo 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Biao fam. Yeah, Biao fam. All right. Last topic of the day. We were gonna have more time of it for it, but we really don't. It's an hour and 14 minutes into the show. Thank you guys for tuning all the way through. If you have a couple different updates here from both Stars Arena and Friendtech, want to give a big shout out. Hold on, let's go full screen for this. Just a huge shout out to my Friendtech key holders. Marty McFly actually picking up a second key That's how you know it's
Oh
good.
wow.
Picking up that second key. But no, big shout out to anybody in my Friend Tech key holder room right now. You guys are awesome. Been having a great experience over there.
Heck yeah.
It looks okay. So this is important. We might have to get up out of here relatively shortly because Stars Arena is live right now. Up till now, we haven't seen an update on the relaunch. You can see Stars Arena is talking right now. Let's talk about the Arena relaunch. Earlier today, about 8 hours ago, they put this cryptic kind of turn notifications on post. That's because their platform has basically been down since they got exploited for $3 million. That's where we sit today. We don't know if people are going to get their money back or anything like that. So we'll jump into the Stars Arena spaces, or at least I will here in just a moment. Off the heels of the Stars Arena hack, Friend Tech has added a 2FA password feature here on their accounts for additional account protection. You can see add a password. You'll be prompted for this password when signing into a new device. So that's the 2FA, not necessarily a Google authenticator or anything like that, but those are the two updates from Friend Tech. Lastly, Biggie, Friend Tech volume has taken a little bit of a dip, total value locked a little bit of a dip, but I think for the most part, key prices have held stagnant. So not a lot of buys, but also not a lot of sells, if you get my meaning. We're kind of waiting on new features, I think, to see if other people are coming into the app.
Yeah, and I mean, it's only natural after what transpired this weekend. I mean, I don't know about the rest of y'all folks, but for a while there, I was not very NFT, I wasn't thinking too much about NFTs yesterday. It just takes a little while. But I think obviously people get fearful. They start weighing pros and cons and, how this is going to affect the macro and what other things may come down the pipe. I hate to be like, I don't want to end the show on a bad note, but I think it's also important to just consider like the ramifications, right? Like the potential ramifications of this space, right? Because while right now it's now two theaters of war, it's a lot of people having to, dedicate resources to these two different places, right? Like you still have a third country that has been waiting and really wanting to go after their own piece of the pie in the Pacific, which is China with Taiwan, right? And when you look at, how invested the rest of the world is on these two fronts already now, I mean, there's never been almost a better time for them to take action on that. And I fear that may be the outcome before the year ends. I hope not. But again, like people that like do focus on the macro way better than myself. Obviously, this is from other people that I read from and everything. But I think it's important to just kind of like look at the space and be like, it's all right to be patient and to be hesitant and to wait, bid your time, right? But I still remain very bullish in the space, regardless. Like this is obviously technology that the world needs. Now more than ever, like that and AI. I think there's more pros than cons from those two technologies, and they're almost like bedmates. So I'm all for it. I'm sorry I had to bring this little bummer of a piece out, but I think it's important to look at it sometimes, right? Because if we're just stuck in our own little bubble, looking at
it is interesting
the floor prices and assets we hold, JPEGs and this, and you like, dude, like. This stuff is gonna like impact the whole fucking political financial landscape for years to come. So yeah.
Well, it is interesting that you bring this up because in our little bubble, just looking at the floor prices, it almost makes you laugh that you could have now wars potentially on multiple fronts, and yet a picture of a monkey JPEG is still being actively traded for like $65,000, $70,000. Like.
And it comes back almost
like
but like you said, right, like sometimes like just being part of these communities and being part of a space that's forward thinking and like overall positive and bullish about what we can accomplish in this space with this technology, like it's a respite, right? Like it really is. And honestly, it's like I'd much prefer the mindset, remain positive. So yeah, 100%.
All right, Biggie is bringing in some sober statements here, and I definitely appreciate it. And you're getting some comments here. Kilowaka is saying, I agree. Choina as well agrees. And Easy is saying, can't let China take Taiwan there. Easy and Crypto saying, just hearing about the stars hack, I had bought a key there that doubled in a minute, so I sold it, and then it went up like 1,600% in a day. Sounds like another day in Web3, baby. Another day in Web3.
Yeah.
Tony says Stars Arena seems to be holding spaces every time I look at X. Marty Q at least does shit. No one else really does. I appreciate that, bro. All right. I mean, we covered a fuck ton today. We weren't on yesterday, so I felt like we needed to jam pack this episode. Gifted will be back tomorrow as well. I'll look to have, I think Jessica Yatrovsky potentially will be on tomorrow as well. Guys, super supportive the entire time we were on here. The dorks are blowing us up on Twitter, so I need to go check that out.
Lovely fucking dorks. I love it.
All the dorks happening. So
all the dorks, come at us, bro.
Guys, we again we're gonna hop off here, but we will be back tomorrow on X at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then we will jump into NFT Live. Biggie, I'll let you take us out, man, with anything you'd like to say to get us out of here. Again, man, it's awesome to be connecting with you on weeks like this as well. Definitely.
Likewise, Q, and you know, it's healthy. It's healthy for me, at least. It does wonders for me as well. I love our community. I think we have the coolest community in the Web3 space. I love you all. You know, just keep looking up, chin ups, stay positive, dude. And I'll be back on Thursday. But I'll be looking forward to tomorrow's episode with Jess and the Gifted, if he makes it down there. If he doesn't get stuck in the wine country or something. But I love you all. Yeah, man. OVOT. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, OVOT, guys. We are picking a winner for that giveaway on NFT Live as well. So, yeah, be on the lookout on that profile on X. Appreciate y'all. OVOT.
Love you, brother.